Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today in this video. As you can see, I'm again in another snow-filled scene, so there's just snow everywhere. We've had a tremendous amount of snowfall recently in Scotland and across, I think, the whole of the UK, or many parts of the UK. So today I'm out to do something which I'm really excited about, but also a little bit apprehensive. I'm going to revisit one of my favourite trees to try and capture this scene. There's a number of trees in the composition, but try and recapture a different version of one of my favourite woodland scenes. And if you're a long-term subscriber to my channel, once I get there, assuming everything is the same, then you will recognise this tree because I've shown it in, I think, a couple of videos before. What's making me apprehensive is that it's been probably maybe 2.5, 3 years since I've last been to this tree, or this area, a collection of trees. And yeah, there's been a number of storms a year or two ago, and there's been some in the last few months. I mean, really strong winds felled an awful lot of trees. So as much as I'm filled with joy at going to see this scene on a snowy winter's day, I'm a little bit apprehensive that the trees in my scene no longer exist or they're severely damaged, but fingers crossed they won't be. So let's get going. I've a bit of a journey to get there and see what we find. This certainly is tricky to navigate, but I think I'm approaching the area where this tree or scene is. I keep calling it a tree because there's one standout tree, but there's another couple of really important players in the overall composition. But yeah, I've found it. I've found it. I really was struggling. It's tough walking, but there's quite a lot of sun out at the moment, so it's never going to look good at the moment. What I'm actually hoping for, and I don't know if I'll get it, is at least for it to become a little bit more overcast, threatening snow, or for there to be snowfall. That would be perfect. At the moment, it's not going to make a good photograph, but I'm delighted to have found it. And I'm quite anxiously checking it for damage. And I think, although there's a lot of destruction that I've seen on the way here, I think it's escaped unscathed. So I'm really pleased about that. Let me show you what I'm seeing here. So here we go. This is what I've been looking for. And this is a scene that I photographed before and got one of my favourite photographs. This little scene here off in the distance is absolutely fantastic. You can see this tree here, it's got lots of character. We've got a fallen one here and some interesting trees to the left. So I'm going to have a look around, just check. I don't see anything that's particularly changed since last time, no severe damage. So I've been really fortunate in that aspect. So I just need to try and get some good weather, but I'm going to get my composition set up. So I've managed to have a look at my scene that I want to photograph today, and I think it's looking fantastic. As I touched on earlier, I just need to wait on the light to change, and I know that will happen as the day progresses. And ideally I'd like to capture it in a blizzard of snow. Will that happen? Fingers crossed, but I really can't tell. But anyway, I just wanted to take a few minutes, or just a few seconds really, to talk about safety when you're out in the winter time, especially in conditions like this when there's been heavy snowfall. My previous video shows me out in the snow having a great time, and I genuinely did, and I'm out again in the snow at the moment. I don't think there's anyone within miles, and yeah, I'm having a great time, and hopefully I'll leave with a nice photograph. But I think putting up these sort of videos, it would be remiss of me not to just touch on safety. So obviously if you can walk from your house or you can drive somewhere safely and the roads are clear, that's absolutely fine. Go for it. Enjoy your exercise, get the mental health benefits, and maybe capture some nice photographs. We're all keen to get out in the snow and do that. However, the weather in the UK at the moment has been absolutely severe, and I think there'll be lots of YouTube videos going up, people out doing photography in the snow, and that is fine, but you don't always see, I guess, the danger and the risk to your safety. So, for example, the temperatures at the moment, even if you can go somewhere safely, it's been -5, -6, which we're not really used to. But with the wind chill factor, it's been, and I can hear the wind at the moment, you may hear it as well, that's bringing down all the snow. With the wind chill factor, it's been something like -10, -11 at times, and that it is bitter. I can assure you it's been bitter. And if you're caught out somewhere and snow blizzards come on, you're not really sure where you're at, it's easy to get lost, it's easy to get freezing cold. So definitely be aware of that. And also the Met Office has been advising that you don't travel unless it's essential. And I think that's been very, very wise advice. The roads have been absolutely terrible. So when it's been like that, I've just stayed home. I've not went out. Though we do this for a living or as a passionate hobby, I don't think it's worth risking our own safety for the sake of a photograph. So I'm not sure if glamorous is the right word, but it can look very glamorous, all these YouTube videos, everyone in the snow. It can certainly look nice and atmospheric. It's definitely beautiful, I'll agree with that, but there is a safety element to it as well. So enjoy it safely, I think is what I'm trying to say, and don't take any unnecessary risks in the roads because they have been horrendous, and just be aware of how conditions can change when you're out. Definitely not trying to lecture anyone or tell anyone what to do, but yeah, it's nice to head out in snow, but there is a dangerous element to it as well. But anyway, I'm going to wait some more and hopefully the light will change and I can get the photograph that I want. Some of you may be familiar with another scene that I am very fond of, which I have previously captured in some wonderful atmospheric fog. On this day though, as I waited on the correct lighting conditions for my other scene, I decided to revisit it. Deep in the woodland, a strong wind was blowing the snow straight towards me. During a unique moment, I witnessed some amazing light combined with the perfect conditions, and I felt I was able to capture something quite special. So now, speaking earlier about your safety when you're out in winter and in snow doing photography, I spoke about how the conditions really change. I think I did anyway. I wanted to say that because it's something I know happens a lot, and it's totally different now. The snow is falling at the moment. It's not that heavy, but there's been some quite heavy snowfall, and yeah, the sun and the blue sky has pretty much gone, but I've got the conditions that I want, so I'm really pleased about that. This is the scene that I'm photographing behind me, and I've set up the composition very similar. It's never going to be spot on exact, but very similar to what I took previously when I captured this scene in thick fog. Maybe some minor tweaks just to suit the conditions that I've got today, but yeah, I think it's going to make for a really nice photograph. So you can see the fallen tree behind me off in the distance. It's a key part of the image, and I've spoke about what I see in this scene before, but it's fallen over and it's covered in snow and it looks amazing. And then we've got this tree on the right here, which again has got a really nice base. The snow is piled up in like a triangular formation at its base, and it's got a broken branch right down at its base, and it's sort of leaning out one of its branches towards that fallen tree. So when I found this scene many years ago, I always thought in my head that it looks like that tree off in the distance with a broken branch has had a bad time, a bad experience. This tree here on the right has also had a bad experience due to its fallen branches underneath it, but it's reaching out an arm of support to that tree in the distance, almost like it knows what that one's went through, because it's went through a bit of suffering itself. So maybe quite deep that, but that's the impression I get when I look at this scene, and that's what struck me when I first saw it. But yeah, absolutely delighted. The snow is quite light at the moment, it's still beautiful, but yeah, I think I've got an image here which will turn out really nice. It was a lot of effort to get here today, and I certainly had a lot of trouble finding this scene again, but I think it was worth every difficult footstep that I made, and I'm really delighted to have come back here. This is one of my favourite woodland scenes that I've photographed. I've got quite a lot of woodlands that I'm fond of, but I do like this scene, along with many others of course. So it's been really nice to be here today, and if you've enjoyed watching this video, I'll put up a link to a video I made, it could be 2-3 years ago now, when I was last here photographing it in thick fog. So if you enjoyed this one, you may want to see that video, and I'm really pleased because I think that photograph in the fog will go very nicely with the one that I've captured today in the snow. And I was really fortunate to get the conditions that I hoped for, so I'm really delighted. But yeah, it's a special little place to me, this, and I think I said at the end of my video a few years ago that I would be back, so I'm certainly glad to be back today. And yeah, I think I can safely say the same thing again. I will be back here again, try to get more photographs of this scene. But I'm really pleased it's escaped the storm damage as well. It looks pretty much as I saw it before, and to this place I will say until the next time. So thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, check out that other video, I'm sure you'll enjoy it as well. And yeah, I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in my next video.